Linda will not be here tonight, and Brian has promised not to say anything, so we should get out early. All right, any non-public tonight?
There is not.
Okay. Okay, minutes of October 11th. Somebody want to make a motion in reference to the minutes?
Should we table them because Linda's not here?
No, we don't need to.
Okay.
Move to accept the minutes, October 11th.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes for October 13th. That was another budget, police department night. Somebody want to make a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion, we approve the October 13th minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to budgets. First one on our list is economic development. If you haven't found it, it's under the planning and zoning. It's page 25. Okay, 100 series, part-time wages. 200 series, social security, unemployment. 300. 500. 600. 800. Okay.
And just for the record, that budget is level.
Next one is the Libby under Parks and Rec, page 1, Libby Museum.
100 series. 200. 300 series. Outside services. 400. Electricity, water, insurance. 500. 600. And 800. Any questions in reference to Libby? Okay, next is the library.
Library has its own tab under Library, page 1.
Okay, 100 series.
Good evening.
Good evening. Now, if you people have anything to add to any of these different sections, just let us know. Otherwise, we'll just go through by series like we usually do. Jim has it up behind us, I believe. So 100 series is salaries. 200 is health insurance and social security and those things. 300. 400 is electricity, heat, oil, water, sewer. 400. 500.
My one question for the night.
What?
Under advertising, I've noticed in some budgets that a good chunk of advertising goes to posting for jobs for different departments. And I was just looking to see if maybe the town would consider pulling out a separate line item for advertising for jobs so that the public knows that a lot of the advertising money for different departments is basically looking for help when we need employees. Should I make a motion?
No, but usually we try to, at least it's been in the past, we try to keep the advertising broken out completely into each department. I'm assuming they're going to need some extra advertising money this year to advertise for a new
position.
new addition for the library. So I don't think we should take anything out of that line item.
Well, I don't want to take the money away.
Right, but I'm just saying, I think it's better if we leave it in, like over the years, we've broken out electricity, water, sewer, gas and oil, maintenance. So it gives a better idea as to what that department is costing.
I might suggest as well, instead of us discussing it here, I think this would get, it would be better discussion with the budget committee, because they're the ones who get a little more testy with the changes that we've made to this point. So I'm wondering if maybe we should bring it up to them tomorrow night.
Okay.
And that way, if they agree with the change, we can potentially make that rendition change to the budget committee books. But I'm not sure if we'll be able to accommodate that in the 2023 budget.
Yeah, I would think it would make sense to, like you said, Jim, to do it. If you want to think about doing that, you'll prepare next year for the 2024 budget, so they have time, the department, finance department has time to, create the other account line where it's going to sit in there and stuff like that, and break it out at that time as the department heads are building their budgets. And just say to the, I think planning and zoning, most of their advertising should definitely stay with them anyway, because they do so much for all their public hearings and everything that they have. They might want to stay in their own departments there for those two anyway. But
Okay, Brian?
Yep.
You bring it up, you're going to, you have the budget committee, right?
Yep.
600 series? 700? 800? That's the library budget. You have anything to add to it, or?
Nope, they have no capital outlays.
Okay, good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is the electric department.
Under a separate tab at the back of the book, starts off with personnel, 41550.
Okay.
So page 1, we don't have 100 series on this one?
No, this is just health, life, disability, dental, and workers' comp. We, as you know, in the past consolidated it in the general fund, but we did leave it separate in the water, sewer, and electric, so it stands alone. So this is for the electric department employees, their benefits.
Okay, 200 series on page 2, page 1, rather. And we're going to go to page 4.
For technology services, again, we just have a placeholder to buy, replace 1 or 2 computers or do maintenance for the electric department.
Okay. Page 6.
Electric administration, page 6.
100 series? 200? 300?
actually, a question going back on the 100, just fresh as everybody told us already, Barry, is this, we have an increase in personnel down there? I see it's gone up from,
No, if you, and I think one of the things, and Casey, you could perhaps speak on this, the hourly wages of one of our employees is now a salaried employee.
Gotcha,
So you're going to see
moved
that
up.
shift. There's a shift there, really, but.
And that was in last year's budget, that change was made.
Correct.
So you're seeing kind of like line 1 and 2 together equal the top line.
yep, okay, makes sense.
Okay, down to 300.
Just a note on the 300 series, you'll see that the consultant line item is quite a bump. That was something we talked about with Jim and Casey about bringing in somebody to appraise our department so that we have a better hard number for payment in lieu of taxes. So that represents that appraiser to come in this year and do that.
Okay, 400 series. $500. $600. $700. $800.
Page 13 is electric distribution.
$100 series.
Can I propose an edit on this one? I think there was perhaps a clerical error made when we were calculating overtime on this one. And it was proposed to go down to 65,780. I'd like to see that closer to 70,000 to be more of an accurate number.
It's in 140.
That's the 140 line item.
So you want it changed to exactly 70?
I'm sorry.
Should we change it to exactly 70?
I would feel better about 70 as a number on that line item.
Make a motion to change line 140 overtime to 70,000.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
And just the idea behind that is we now are going to have our more senior people on call-outs because of our staffing at the moment.
And it's, as far as the 5-year average, it's not an unreasonable request. He's looking at 79,000 over the past 5 years, so it's a very reasonable request.
It's all about storms, you know?
Yeah. You can't predict them.
No.
200 series?
That's
300?
Obviously, the 200 series have to be adjusted
Yeah,
to
will
the
be
new
adjusted
salary number.
accordingly.
Yes, I will adjust the taxes and the pension on the change that you just made.
Okay, 300? 400? $600.
If I could interject again here. The 610 general operating supplies line item, just based on what we're seeing in pricing right now, you can see how we've blown this year's budget out of the water with that line item with the cost increase. I'd like to bump that to 275 versus 225.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion to change line item 610, general operating supplies, from 225 to 275.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 700. 800. 900.
Next one, page 20, electric generation.
Okay, 100. 200. 300. 400. 600. 800. That does that.
That is the end of that. Barry
have
does
a-
have one capital outlay in the back of
Capital
the
outlay?
book.
I would actually, yeah, I'm worse than Brian. I would actually like to add an additional capital outlay if I could, if you would entertain that this evening.
What page are we going to, Casey?
We're going to page, I think my pages are a little cut off, but 22. The top of it says Melody and Keniston Island Engineering, and it is for $50,000.
Yeah, so based on some crazy pricing we're getting, I want to do the engineering before we did the project on Melody and Keniston, so next year would represent the engineering for that reconstruction of those two.
It's on page 23.
23, yeah.
Sorry, my pages are cut off.
I mean,
Good guess.
they don't want
23.
Unless Barry's in charge of water
to,
now.
what do you call it?
So this is,
I'm sorry.
Could you explain what this is?
yeah, this is, Melody Island, Keniston Island,
yeah,
the engineering at 50,000.
Yeah, so I have a project in 2024 to reconstruct Melody and Keniston Island, and just based on some of the crazy volatile prices we're getting out there for reconstruction and equipment, I wanted to engineer it year one and then bid it year two, so I get a better hard number. So this would strictly be the engineering. We'd do it this summer in preparation for next year's.
Yeah, we don't have Dick out there to help you.
It's a little difficult, yeah.
And this is how it was presented in CIP as
Yeah, I remember I spoke on that the other day because I said it was a $50,000 cost. And I said, usually the CIP only takes $100,000 projects underneath their wing, but this is a breakout of a part of the whole.
Right. At one, I started, I had them combined, but really because they're separate years, I think everybody felt it was the better way to go about it. And it'll allow me to have a better number for bidding purposes for next year.
Okay, anything else?
And I have one additional capital outlay I'd like to propose.
Yeah.
And that is to replace the gate, the entrance gate down at the Armory building. Right now, looks like something you'd see in a junkyard entrance there. We've got two different levels. It's heaved. We've got it supported up here with a guy wire because one of them's tilting over. And I'd like to go in line and do something like they did up at the water treatment facility, where they have the retractable slide gate, and they have it's actually powered, has a battery backup in case of power outage. So I'd like to do that as well next year, if we can consider that.
Can we do it as a revisit? Can he submit?
You're going to be revisiting them all. You just don't happen to have this on your list or a copy yet, so we will hand them out to you on Wednesday night.
How much is this?
This would be $35,000.
And it would be taken from your fund balance, correct?
It would strictly be taken out of our current funds. This would have no effect on the tax rate.
Do you have cameras up there, Barry?
We do. What I really need to do is have power out at the gate, though, so I have better camera angles. We have them on the building shooting out, and I'll need power to have a power gate, obviously. We'll get a better light and a camera.
Okay, so you're gonna bring us something on this? and where
Yeah, I
it-
will present this, and,
And where it's gonna be in your budget?
well, it will be a capital outlay. It won't be a line item, if that makes sense.
Oh. Can we put it in his budget rather than a line item?
Well, you could-
Put it
I
a line
suppose-
item rather than a CIP?
For 30, can we put it in general, can we add to that line of general?
Yeah,
Or we
general
could put it in an
supplies?
outside services line item, perhaps, if that,
yeah, I would rather see it in his budget for this year, personally.
I'd put it under
Where do we want it?
probably distribution outside services.
Distribution
So page 13
13, so
and 380 is what he's saying, so 43420.
That number's level funded at this time.
outside
so-
services, period, 1,000.
380, yep.
What do you think the cost of it is, 30,000?
35.
I budgeted 35.
Okay. You
And
think
the
you can do it
prices
for
I got
35?
were 28-ish.
But you can
so
do it definitely for 35?
I feel comfortable with that, yeah.
I'll make a motion to change line item 380 under electric distribution, outside services, from 300 to 335,000. Brian?
Second. Gotta let me finish writing. I gotta get my numbers down.
What page is that on?
That's page 13, line 380.
The 300, last line.
380, okay. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Thought you want to spend money.
Thank you.
So we'll just put that added narrative into that portion of the budget.
Yep,
And so you won't see a capital outlay.
right.
Right, but if I could steal it, so I could write notes in your workbook for the next week.
I did not add it
know,
to Muni Smart or anything, and has it.
I'll do it. I'll take it from here, thank you. And I believe that's it.
That's
That's all
it.
I have, unless you have any questions.
You want to bring us up to date on the public safety
So
building?
I've got a couple of quick slides that I'd like to show everybody. We met regarding the public safety building. This is not a great picture, so I apologize for that. Maybe I can shrink it down here. We met regarding the public safety building and whether or not we could do the design on site. Again, this, because of the way it's blown up, it's not a wonderful picture. But the answer is yes, we can do the existing or the proposed new public safety building on the existing site. This section that you see right here is the existing apparatus bay. What would happen is a new apparatus bay would be constructed to the rear of the building. Once that new apparatus bay is constructed, the existing apparatus bay would be torn down. This new two-story structure would be built, which would house a lot of the administrative functions of the police department. And then the existing administrative building would be renovated as well. Since we've looked at this plan, there has been some shortcomings discovered relative to how the building flow works. The chief and the captain at the police station and the fire chief have worked very well together to come up with a plan as to how we may be able to resolve this in a similar footprint. So we're off to the races with this project. We're hopeful to have some pretty solid pricing by the end of December for our bond hearings. So we will get these documents up on the webpage. I apologize that they're not great on this particular drawing. It's too big for the screen. But this is what we were asked to consider. New architect has considered it, and it looks like we're able to achieve what we've heard from the citizens that they want, and that is a public safety building with all of our assets at the existing site. With that said, we will be working with Banwell to streamline this programming. They'll come back and meet with the committee again. And right now, they're putting out an RFP for construction management firms to look at the concept and the cost to build, as well as we're working to get a civil engineer under contract right now to get the civil work started and move along. So more to follow. Again, we will get these draft first version pictures up on the website. We just wanted to let the board know that it is moving along, and I thought it was a fairly productive meeting the other day. Dave, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, do you have the 3D drawings that they had?
I don't have the 3D. They did not send those, but I can get those.
So basically, what you're going to see from the street is what you see now. Everything, the new bays, like I said, it'll be staged. The new bays and part of the rear section will be built. And then the bays will be torn down, and then the middle section will be built. One of the things that I liked about it, and I think the chief and both chiefs did, is that the dispatch center in that section of the building will stay right where it is. It's not going to move. There will be a bigger foyer there. There'll be a meeting room there on that level. The stairways disappear on both ends. There's 2 new stairwells. There's 1 elevator. But I thought it was a very productive meeting the other day. Well, Luke was there too, as well. And the only thing that had some question was the hose tower, but I think we're going to go ahead with putting the hose tower on, not only from aesthetics, but maybe could be some usable space. So yeah, I thought it was well done. I liked the presentation. I liked the attitude. Was good, I thought, at the meeting. I thought the architects did an excellent job of presenting, both of them did. So yeah, I was pretty enthusiastic when I saw the plan. It was more in line with what I would have liked to see there. So.
And it streamlines the phasing, which the previous project, the phasing was very, very complicated and added significant time, cost, and problems with the project.
Have they come up with any type of estimated budget for this one yet, or?
So they said they could throw a number at it, but they really were not comfortable in doing that. They know where we're at. They want the construction manager to do that. You know, they said, look, we could give you a number based on $375 a square foot, but that's not going to take into consideration your civil work that needs to be done, any of the groundwork around. So they were not very comfortable in giving a price, which I got to give them a lot of credit for sitting there and in front of a group of people and saying, we're not ready to do that. We want the construction manager to give you that price.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got drainage, site work. They need to do some test borings for the engineering for the foundations. And they weren't at that stage at this point, so I thought it was good they backed off of that.
Yeah, they basically said, look, the concept can work. We can make this work on this plot of land. Okay, that's what we needed to hear as a committee. Now we move forward. So.
And there will still be, I think from what they said, the distance to the rear property line will still be able to drive around the building at the back too, which was a concern from the beginning with the bays going from the existing building to the library. It was not going to give us a clean shot around the building. Out through the library parking lot, yes, but
Do they have built-in any energy efficiencies for the building?
So, good question. We actually have a member of the Energy Committee on the project. You know, so at this point, you know, no, we have not considered solar. You know, somebody actually stated that, you know, the building is not configured in the right manner for solar. But, you know, I think we will absolutely make every measure to ensure that we use energy-efficient motors and lighting and equipment, and, you know, as well as insulate to get the best bang for our buck.
And there's no room on the property for a separate solar array or anything like that?
There is not. That partial is about 55,000 square feet, and this building is 27,000 square feet. And then when you put staff, visitor, parking, there's not a lot of remaining space.
Just, it hit my eyes when I was driving home from Concord the other day, and, Portsmouth. And Staples and Rochester Volkswagen and one other building have the solar arrays. What they have is the towers with the panels up in the air, so you could actually drive underneath them, and they rotate with the sun and pick up. I don't know if we could get some grant money for that, because there is a lot of grant money in the new act that's out. So if it's possible, that would make that would be something there high enough up that you could drive the whole fire engines, the trucks and everything right underneath them.
Well, there was an area where it could be considered, but we got to have an impound lot, and that is in that back corner. So obviously you can put solar panels anywhere, but where they go can be more efficient one way than another. So. And again, if you put them on the roof system, and this roof, by the way, is pitched on all the sections of it. There's no flat roofs involved in this building at all. So that was a plus as well. A lot of valleys, but that's fine. But the structure would also have to be set up so that it could hold the number of panels that would go on that roof.
Yeah.
But again, that's not too hard to do when you spec your trusses.
It has to have the right, it does have to have the right exposure.
Right.
I mean, I would love solar panels at my house, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I understand that. A good one to look at is Volkswagen of Rochester. They actually put the towers up behind their building, between their building and the woods, and you would be like, how can you get any power there? And they turn with the sun, and they have southern exposure. They actually get the sun over the roof of the building, because the towers are high enough. They power their whole facility with their 2 towers out back. And they use a lot of electricity for a dealership. So it's
Well, there's some big solar panel farm there behind DePrazio's mill, too. I don't know how much that array powers their buildings, but it's got to be pretty high.
So I'm not sure if the board wants to consider one other item. These meetings have been going fairly smoothly. We have meetings scheduled Wednesday and Thursday for Conservation Commission, Public Works, and then Thursday is going to be Water and Sewer. Would this board like to condense those and have the revisit night on November 1st? The main reason I ask is we have meetings every night this week. It's up to the board, but I'm just throwing it out there for consideration.
So in other words, combine Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, it's the board's discretion whether you want to combine Wednesday or Thursday, and whether you want to do it on Thursday night versus Wednesday night. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. It just seems to make more sense to. Let's do it Thursday. Thursday?
Yeah.
So, no meeting Wednesday? That's fine. Just move.
Yeah,
can-
let Steve know. But I
I'll
would
do
appreciate
Thursday.
that.
And we have no meeting Friday, right?
No, no meeting Friday.
The only thing about Monday, I believe this room is occupied by the Monday the 1st, or Tuesday the 1st, I mean. Isn't the planning board in here?
I won't be.
So,
Taking a mental health day.
so November 1st has to be 5 p.m. start.
Okay, so we're going to meet this week, not Wednesday, but Thursday, correct?
Correct.
Correct. And then if we have additional revisits, we could do them on November the 2nd, correct? Which is a regular Board of Selectmen's meeting.
November the 2nd is our regular.
Okay.
So we may not have we have a budget meeting on the 1st then?
Revisit night. 1 hour. Yeah, and then we can only have 1 hour, but if we have to, we can go into Wednesday night to button it up, which won't
Don't
affect
have
us
much
in getting this out to the
visiting.
Budget Committee.
We don't have much to revisit.
Yeah, you only have a few
Capital
things.
outlays.
Capital outlays, whether you push them forward or yay or nay them. So you just have to touch them all again, shouldn't take that long.
All right, so no meeting Wednesday.
So we'll do conservation, public works, water, sewer, and some of the revisit on Thursday?
How late it goes?
Can we do any tonight?
Not really, we don't have the staff here to answer some of the questions for you.
Okay,
Great.
Thank you very much.
I have a. Yeah.
Second.
Brian,
Seconded it.
all those in favor? Aye.
You just wanted it to go on
I've
so
already
you'd be
got